So here we have a real life application of percentages, and it's talking about income tax, and it wants you to work out how much tax is going to be paid by this person, and it's talking about he pays the tax in two equal, so again we've got key information here to work with. So he wants to work out how much tax he needs to pay. So let's have a look at the information itself then. So we've got last year he earned that. He doesn't pay income tax in the first 16th. Right, okay. Now this is called your tax allowance. So basically you're allowed to earn so much money before the government will start charging you tax to help run the country. So the first thing we've got to calculate is a thing called the taxable income. So in other words, what amount of money will the government tax you on? The taxable income is going to be your gross pay. In other words, the total amount you earn in a year, take away your tax allowance. So that's the kind of formula we should be thinking about using to work out what's called the taxable income. So the gross pay in this question was given as £18,000, so it's going to be 18,000, and the tax allowance is the amount of money you can earn before you pay any tax, and in this question it's been given as £6,475, and of course we then do that on our calculators. So 18,000 take away 6,475, so £11,525. That's how much taxable income there is, and it's telling us in the question that he pays tax at 20 pence for each pound he earns. So 20 pence out of a pound is the same as 20%. So we recognise that we're going to be doing 20% of, so the tax is 20% of £11,525. Now it's a calculator paper, guys, so the quick way of doing that is to do 0.2, so percentage multiplier for 20% is 0.2. Multiplier implies we're going to multiply, so we're going to do 11,525. Now we're sensible and left that number in our calculator ready to use it, so times by 0.2, so £2,305. So that's the tax to pay. So 2,305 tax to pay. Now we go through and then just ask ourselves, have we actually answered the question expected? So we want to work out the tax. Yeah, well, we've worked out tax. We use the 18,000. We've worked out that there's some taxable income to use, and we've used the 20%. The only key thing we've got to remember is that the question wants how much does he pay if it's done in two half-yearly instalments. So that means we've got to finish off by halving that answer. So the half-year amount, 2,305 divided by 2. So again, we left that answer in the calculator ready to use it. So divide by 2. So now again, really careful guys with the calculator. We've got 0.5 here, but we're talking about money. So we must put in the extra 0 to remember to write money answers in exams using the proper language, so we don't lose an easy mark by forgetting that money must have a 0 there to make it 2 decimal places. So we need 2 digits after the decimal point for money answers. The question then goes on and says that he wants to know the percentage of his earnings that he actually pays in tax. So calculate the income tax to pay as a percentage of his earnings. So what we've got to realise is that there's a formula again to work out percentage. So if the question ever wants an answer as a percent, then we should be thinking of percent equals the value over the original amount times 100. Now the value could be anything like profit, loss, in this case the tax paid, it could be the change in a value, there's lots of things that go on the top here. It's really worded in the sense of whatever you want out of the original amount. Here they want the percentage of his earnings that he paid in tax, so tax over earnings times 100. So it's fraction times 100 to get a percent. So the value of the tax was 2,305 because we're talking here about the whole year, and the gross income that he had was 18,000, and then we're going to times by 100 to get the percentage. So 2,305 divided by 18,000 times 100, and that gives us an answer of 12.81. 12.81%. It's not said a particular accuracy needed, so 2 decimal places should be fine. Most exam questions, 3 sniffing of figures is the standard, so I'm going to finish off this question by writing down 12.8%. So that's going to be the answer for that question. Again, just remembering formulas. If we want a percent as an answer, then we need a value divided by the original amount times 100, so a fraction times 100. And the value is always going to be the thing that you're interested in first, which is things like profit loss, and in this case tax, over the original amount, which was the gross pay.